I've understood that the inclination or tilt angle of Earth's rotational axis is changing. Can you please give us some specifics? How much has it already changed and to which direction? Have you any idea how far it will go?
Our
The days
physical
are very
north,
short in the northern hemisphere. Is it going to get shorter or longer?
our physical North Pole is moving to Siberia. The magnetic pole is rotating, wobbling. Okay. My understanding is that the pole shift will be anywhere between 23.4 degrees and 28.3. Now that on the surface is significant. But my understanding is that they're allowing it to occur very, very slowly and gradually so that the oceans do not leave their beds. Now, what would really change that is if the rotation of the Earth on its axis were to slow down significantly. If it were to slow down significantly, the Earth's rotation, all the water that is at the equator would be displaced. That would cause massive flooding of every coastline on the planet, significantly changing the Earth. And that's not to say that some of that isn't going to occur. You know, with so much intervention on so many levels, it's extremely difficult to know exactly how things are going to play out, especially when we, the inhabitants of this world, are not really participating in the decision making or the creation of our future. By surrendering our sovereignty, by giving away our free will and surrendering our sovereignty, our self-knowing, we have given the creation of our future, we have put the creation of our future into the hands of other beings. And as we're finding out now, those beings, many of those beings, at least here in the governmental or a religious structure of our planet, really never had the best interest of humanity at heart. To them, it was really all about power. Power over, and that's what it was for them. We fell for the story. Now that people are beginning to wake up and they are withdrawing their energy away from these groups and no longer participating, we begin now to project what it is that we as individuals want. Maybe at some point down the road, we will be able to thank them for giving us the contrast that we needed to wake up. Because when you finally realize you don't want this, you wake up, you begin to back out, you begin to move away from what it is that you don't want. And at that point, you regroup and you have to make a choice or a decision about what it is that you do want. And then you move in that direction because your focus, your intent moves in that direction of what it is that you do want. But unless you know what you want, I think we're all pretty easy to be controlled and manipulated. At least that's what the record shows. So to answer your question, as far as the earth changes, I've shared everything that I've been told. But, and I say this with as much clarity as I can, we're the ones, humanity, we are the ones that have to have the say as to what it is that we want. You know, back in the 90s when I first started talking about the A's, I talked about the idea that one of the issues that they had was how do they help us and at the same time self-empower all of humanity to step into their own power. Because that's what you have to do. We have to become a race of leaders. That means we all have to be self-empowered. That's tricky, especially when you're trying to help free a civilization from the grips of a coma that humanity's been under for thousands and thousands of years. Because you want to help, but at the same time, you don't want to look like a savior. What you want to do is empower and teach empowerment so that at some point, this race, our civilization, will be able to stand up on its own and say, thank you, we got it. We got it from here. That's what you want. That's what makes this a success, is that moment where we can all be together and say, okay, we got this. It's just getting us from where we are or have been to that place. I think it's pretty tricky. And I think it's a moving target. And I think they have had to constantly adjust their plan to accommodate our moving forward and then falling back, moving forward and falling back. And having the patience, you know, to allow us those moments. You know, like a parent, you know, it's just like a parent, you know, your kids, your babies, they stand up and they learn to walk, and you know they're going to fall down and they're going to fall flat on their face or on their bum, you know, and they're going to cry. And you know, you want to help, but at the same time, you want to help, but you want them to be able to learn to do this for themselves and to be confident so that when they go out into the world, they're independent, they're strong, they're functioning at their highest level. At least that's what we all want. You know, we want them to be better or more than we are. And we know that intuitively. And that's the law of consistency, which the rest of the universe practices. That the younger generations know everything the older generations knew and more. And there is absolutely no apprehension whatsoever about teaching the younger generations what we know, because they inherit the future. They carry on. They move forward, even after we leave these bodies and either come back or go somewhere else. That's the law of consistency. That's how this works. You know, but this coma that we've all been in for so long has made us all so afraid of everything. It's just crazy. So I answered your question and then some. I'm sorry. I went on a bit of a rant there.